The ripple effect, when we do not give our temple the proper respect. I'm talking total neglect. It's sufficient fun, but you still roll them a check. I'm not holding my breath. I'm rapping like I am the only one here. I don't have nowhere to feel. They know I'm a threat, and no one exempt. I'm making it clear.
I'm nothing like them, steadily moving up despite them. I smite them, outright them. That's how I fight them. My light shining so bright they blind them. They trying to find them, and I remind them how far behind them their mind is. See what my mind is. Can't see how high that climb is. If you don't go, then I will. Take one step in that minefield. Don't see how thin that line is. I'm trusting God where I live. My kinfolk know that I'm real. My heart and soul what I give, and that's okay, cause when they see me, they tell me what's up. Throwing me the deuce from the cut, pouring out the liquor in the cups. When I walk by, they putting out the blunts. May not sound like much, but for me, it's more than enough. Yeah, this the hood where I come from. Yeah, been real since day one. Yeah, I represent the city of Atlanta. Everybody looking for some answers. Now I gotta lead by example. Boy, you wanna talk tough when you on camera. You can't handle the mantle. Quickly you get dismantled. You don't live by no standards, therefore I cancel your channel. Commander, name one thing you in command of. You don't even know what you stand for. The only thing you can do is slander. Now man up, boy, stand up. Police come through, put your hands up. Bananas up, your fan club banana. Understand us, bandanas and tattoos of teardrops and bandos. Black and white, not harmonizing piano. Got that plug Fernando. Drop it off Alejandro. Slowly turn doorknob handle. Go to war with more ammo than Rambo. I'm learning my life inside my sermons. Got snatched right out the furnace. Go ask my cousin Ernest. So long I've been determined to eradicate all you vermin and allocate all my earnings to get what I'm deserving. In this life I earned it. No white man, no black man, no Jew man gon' stop me or block me or mock me. Just watch me. I came back like the Mach D, harder than government block cheese. Push button, no car keys. This art form is a part of me. This world so cold, my heart freeze. Unthaw me, Lord. Even when I didn't realize it, you still saw me, Lord. My prayers that the brotherhood can get on one accord, cause we cannot afford anyone sowing seeds of discord.
Since day one.
Was Abraham Lincoln, the man who signed the Emancipation Proclamation and fought for the 13th Amendment, a racist? Or was he an abolitionist? Well, by the time he was assassinated, he was both. I'm Doris Starr Tucker, and this is The Breakdown. Contrary to internet rumors, Lincoln himself was never a slave owner. But though he personally hated the institution of slavery and was very consistent in his belief that it was an immoral institution, Lincoln in no way believed that the black man should ever be considered equal to the white man. In his 1858 debate with Stephen Douglas, he famously said, "I am not, nor have ever been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races." He went on to say that he opposed the right of black people to vote, serve on juries, hold office, or intermarry with white people. Perhaps his most damning quote in that speech is this: "There is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality. There must be the position of superior and inferior, and I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race." That, my friends, is the very definition of white supremacy. No takebacks, no erases. He frequently floated the idea of colonizing or deporting black people to Liberia or to the West Indies. He even included this idea in one of the preliminary drafts of the Emancipation Proclamation. He got a lot of heat for this from prominent black leaders like Frederick Douglass, and he finally dropped the idea, saying that it would be logistically impossible. As to the abolition issue,
grace and peace, everybody. How about Sam? The chat, they don't know what the enemy meant for evil. God, listen, God will turn it around. Hopefully I'm sounding all right Fair use. We're gonna let this play. And I got a couple of questions. I'm looking for some people specifically. It depends which. I already told y'all how I felt about a boo. One thing about me, I'm straightforward. I'm looking for Slim right now. I'm looking for Red Letter. I'm looking for, there's a few people I'm looking for. I'm going to play a video. Van Harris, you one of them. I just want to ask some questions. Because these folk running around here and they talking good. So I want to ask some questions to a few folk, most excellent in here. The chat, stay right there. I just want to ask a few questions. Fair use.
issue. When Lincoln first entered office, he was a centrist and not a true abolitionist. He didn't believe that the Constitution allowed for the full abolition of slavery. After all, it contained a clause saying enslaved people should only be counted as 3/5 of a person, and it carried a provision for slave owners to retrieve their runaway slaves from other states. His stance against full abolition wasn't an unusual position for the day. Abolitionists were considered radicals at the time by many people, even in the North. But as the war began to consume Lincoln's presidency, something very interesting happened. His views on abolition began to shift.
What would shift his views? He love you folk? Do me a favor, line some of that Abu stuff up, because I told y'all before. Well, let me ask y'all first. When we start talking about the awakening, we spoke a little bit about it before. If you took the Black Power, because I believe that the fuel of the awakening is Black Power. I don't know, y'all may disagree with me, but if you took the Black Power out of the awakening, what would that do to its momentum? I know it's of God. I know, but I'm just asking. Who else I'm looking for in here? Fair use. Line some of them videos up, Dunamis. I got something else, but we may have to deal with some of this stuff. Because something is happening. Something's happening. Good to see you, Judah. Tell him I'm looking for him. Tell him we on. I know he on that highway somewhere in Utah, Montana. I don't know where that brother be. But wherever he at, tell him we looking for him. Fair use. What Rome say? This is what I'm talking about. He involved in apologetics. He said it's a branch on the tree of Black nationalism. So I guess he's equating this. Landon may not agree with that. He's equating this awakening with what Nation of Islam, 5%ers, Most Science Temple. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like he doing. There ain't no difference. Remember the question that's on the floor, because y'all heard some claims being made, excuse me, by some other brothers, and say what you want. Them brothers YAP Gang jumped on the other day, and I'm like, they a problem. They a problem because that Black Power, they striking at that Black Power, and that's the heart of the awakening. Fervent charity, my man, in a minute. They'll get up in here and they'll act like it ain't about skin. It ain't about this. Shout out to matter of fact, let me call from charity right now because he don't think I'm up and running. Let me text him right now and tell him he might have to jump on in and explain a few things. Shout out to Pastor Green. Matter of fact, I might have to call him. He don't check his email like that. Landon, you don't what? Landon, you don't what? Go ahead, Dunamis. I'll mute myself.
Nah, just seeing this comment. His brother hit him on deep. Didn't Cassius Clay influence Lincoln to free the slaves?
Muhammad Ali and Lincoln?
Nah, this is the original Cassius Clay.
Okay.
Yeah, and what would it? And you know, Nation of Islam. That's your slave master name. This and that, not knowing the truth.
Speaking of the devil. Look who's here. Look who's here. One thing I can say, nobody can say Berean two-faced, and I told y'all from the gate. I told y'all from the very out, and I told y'all from the very beginning, I don't like a boo. I'm playing with it. I told y'all that for years now, but y'all hard-headed. All right, go ahead. Matter of fact, go ahead and line that stuff up. I'm gonna play the rest of this, and I'm looking for I'm Phineas. I'm looking for a few people. There's a few people. I'm gonna find them in here today. And I got 4 good questions, y'all. What names did I say? And I got 4 good questions. Fair use. Good. What's good, Baker?
His cabinet was quite surprised in 1862 when he announced plans to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. Though it was certainly a strategic move to weaken the South, and it didn't actually free many enslaved people, it did affirm his moral position that enslavement was fundamentally evil and should be ended resolutely, without restitution to slave owners, and not gradually over time as he had often proposed. In the months before he died, he did push to get the 13th Amendment passed to fully abolish slavery. He even began advocating for voting rights for certain groups of newly freed Black people. In a speech he gave on April 9th, 1865, just a week before he was
And that's some of the same ones. Y'all see this? This is what I don't like, Alton. I don't care. I don't care what checks them Jesuits done sent you. Wait a minute. Wait. What did I miss? Look at this G. Someone bring me up to speed like this. He coming here innocent. Oh, let me play that Sister E clip. Line that Sister E clip up right there. She said, I'm just, oh, here he is. Here he is. Said, I didn't get alert. Oh, you didn't get it? Oh, no, we just, by the grace of God, we in here right now. By the grace of God. You ready, Dunamis? Before I even get into it. This is Terrence Jones. This is a part 2, but they don't know where we going today. They don't know where we going to go today. Now, look at this other one. Look at this little agent. YAP Gang is a problem for all races. Now, the question that we're trying to look for, I know, Red Letter, I'm bringing you here up to help us think and figure some of this stuff out. Now, I know you're not a racist. I know, and I ain't even tell y'all about talking to them church folk today. I know baby making slick ain't a racist. But is this movement largely fueled by Black power? White folk beneath us. What's good, Father G? I'm just asking a few questions. Darbyites, these fools talking about Orthodox more. I'm telling you, there's a few people I just can't deal with them. Come on, Dunamis, just bring your thing up. I don't even want to play this no more. I want to just jump in. I want to just jump right into them other videos. Y'all know I'm supposed to be.
Which one you want, Berean? You want the Abu video or the Darby video?
That'll do. No, the Abu, then we'll jump to the Darby. That Abu, he's playing more video.
Yeah.
That's the 8-minute video?
Yeah.
Let me stop this right here. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all can speak y'all mind. Ain't nobody getting blocked. But Abu probably. Nobody getting blocked. Nobody getting blocked on fair use. Speak your mind.
Fair use.
Last night, there was yet another interesting show on the Genesis 49ers channel, covering a variety of topics, as shows on that channel typically do. And as it was a long show, and I often feel with the long shows on that channel that there are certain things which I find particularly interesting, which, you know, at risk of getting lost or buried within the larger discussion. So now there were a few different sections from that show that I'm tempted to clip and share. But in this particular video, I wanted to share a brief portion in which the Orthodox Moor shared some intriguing thoughts on certain Israelites whom he calls Darbyites, because he feels they are largely influenced by the late Stephen Darby, and thus, in a sense, they are doctrinally descended from Stephen Darby Ministries on a number of points, at least. Now, the individuals that the Orthodox Moor had in mind have been called moderate Israelites, or moderates by some, but Moore and Ivri argue in this clip that they may be more immoderate than some might realize. And in my opinion, the especially fascinating portion is what Moore had to say about that stream's changing approach to DNA after revelations about some of their paternal haplogroups. Now, at the very least, I found all this to be thought-provoking. And
folk running around here talking about the remix. Have certain people in Israel change position or change doctrine on the 400 years? Are people remixing their interpretation like other groups normally do? We're gonna let the video play. We're just asking a few questions. We got to call this thing what it is. Our fair question. You know, you're familiar with Stephen Darby Ministry, right? Red Letter. Is Stephen Darby one of, if not the leader of what some would call the moderate movement, Christian Israelite movement? not camps, not camps. The brothers termed them Darbyites. Fair use. Go ahead.
You know, a good portion of this was new to me and perhaps even revelatory. So I'm going to share a clip which runs for a little less than 7 minutes. And of course, comments, questions, and even criticisms are welcome, you know, in case anyone wants to offer an alternative understanding of the relevant history, which Moore is about to share. I'll share a link to the fuller show in the video description. And since Moore is going to make a passing reference to a show he did on his own channel about Stephen Darby's views of Israelite haplogroups, I'll also share a link to that show as well. And as you can see on your screen, we're going to pick this up about 3 hours and 45 minutes into the video. So enjoy the clip and God bless.
Like, so she's on here talking about, like, she agrees with the concept that it, like, everyone that came off the slave ship is an Israelite. She's on Berean's show saying that day, right? That, like, that's on the video that played earlier on my channel, right? She's saying that everyone that came off the slave ship is an Israelite. It doesn't matter what your haplotype is. Okay, then you're saying it's just because you're black at that juncture, right? It's just because you're black. You're making the same case that the Taylor twins are making. That you need to have Negro DNA, i.e. the Negro phenotype via alleles, how they said it specifically on their channel, sis. And if you don't, you're not an Israelite. Now she's gonna say, well, I'm not here saying I'm not knocking nobody. I'm not knocking nobody. You know what, sis? You and I both know you don't think that European Jews are Jews or Israelites. You and I both know we've had that conversation between you and I, sis. Now come out here and prove me a lie and tell me that you do. Come out here and prove me a lie and tell me you believe European Jews are DNA. I'll apologize right now. Or Europeans can be Israelites. I'll apologize. I'll apologize. But you know you don't believe that. And I've heard you say it. I've heard you say it.
Stop the video.
So
I know y'all can't
nonsense. You know,
I know y'all can't tell the truth, but there's a few of y'all in here that believe that based on the prophecies, based on DNA, that's part of Black power. How would you define Black power? Power to the people, Black nationalism, or we the people doctrine? How would you define that? Y'all could say what y'all want. Homegirl is banging for Israel. Can you bang for Israel and bang for the movement and bang for truth at the same time? Or would certain things come up, and because you love Israel so much, you love the movement so much, you would attempt to sweep some things under the rug? Have we seen that before? Just because something is a bad look, you said yourself it wasn't beneficial to bang on Major at that time, and I agree. Wasn't beneficial to the movement. Let the video play. Hold on a minute. Let me get Ella Green them right here. This where I said I got to hit Fervent Charity Jack. This is the question. If you believe it, tell the truth. It's okay. Listen, most excellent. There's folk in here right now, they're not campers. They say they don't believe in the 12 tribes chart, and they say they believe what we believe. Only blacks can be true Israel. Some of y'all feel that deep in your heart. It wasn't no light-skinned folk. Some of y'all feel that deep down in your soul. What that song is, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. So y'all believe some stuff deep in your heart. Dunamis, what do you think about that? Only blacks can be true Israel. Them other folk converts. And it's so funny because some of them folk, they write and say y'all are the converts. Let me take Garfield.
Sound like two water fountains.
Two water fountains.
You got the bloodline over here. You got the water fountain for them converts.
It sounds like two water fountains. Clearly, my man Fervent Charity established it. The convert is not on the same level, and he believes he got enough scripture to sustain that. Who else believes that the convert is not on the same level? And then when you literally reading into the text, that's why I'm looking for Baby Maker in them. That's why I'm looking for Blade. I want Baby Maker. I want Phineas. I want Baby Maker. That's slick. I want Red Letter, and I want Most Excellent to watch that other video. And I want them to. We're gonna see what Zachariah. We just gonna listen to them. We're gonna try to understand how different people look at it. But go ahead, play this right. What you tell me? When we start dealing with these converts and y'all running around here, and it's Dunamis, tell me the truth. Is it a wall of division, Sister Jones, that they bringing back up? It ain't that one new man. It's saying your mouth say it's one new man.
But Berean, in all honesty, this has none. This ain't even new covenant. This dealing with the old, the converse and bloodline. You know what I'm saying? This is before even Jesus came on the scene. In the old covenant, how a converse received, and then from there, how do we perceive Scripture, and how do we see the nation of Israel?
Terry Pope said, "Yep, read that right there."
Descendants of the transatlantic slave trade equal Israelite.
Period. Here, read. Oh boy, let me just. Once fervent charity, get on here and then we'll read that right there.
Israel, all colors. He about to be that T-shirt. That's how that all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? He trying to clean it up. Oh, go ahead, brother.
And that's Zeke. We got to ban him just for Zeke. You banned suburban charity because you quote Zeke. Too much Zeke.
I just don't think the Israelites. Of course, what does that mean? What does that mean? Of course, they're Jews. Fervent charity. And it's like
we've been saying he rusty fervent charity ain't never gave them applications away. They in his back pocket. Now the only thing that's trying to save him is because he said no Gentiles gonna rule, and he don't even believe that in his heart. He don't believe that deep in his heart. Or believing Gentiles equal to you. This is that you better than me, doctor. I feel it. I feel it. It's coming out y'all pores. Y'all don't say, Sister Lula, Sister Davis, they don't say it, but I just say it's coming out they pause. We better than the Gentiles. With that Zeke. That's what it is. They saying it, and they saying it. Ain't nobody can be what this is he a DJ too on the remix. He remixed the definition now, and he's tying that into Judaism now. You know he feeling them people as Gentiles in the land. Now, read Landon.
I think God can do what he said he would do. That's a song right there, but I ain't gonna sing tonight. For scattered Israel, and also for whomever keeps the commandments and the faith of Jesus. So Landon,
hold
on, Landon, clear that up. In the old covenant, what are converts? Are converts the same as natural born? Are they under one law? And then hold on, so Jordan, so them folks that we see in like because we went over what's a Jew, and you got folks who we talk about who after the northern kingdom fell, that them folks weren't scattered like that. A lot of folks went down into Judah. And then what they become when they went down into Judah? Right. When Moses left Egypt, he left with all types of people and created Israel. Yeah? So that's where we got to clean it up. Now, here we go.
Listen, they've been mixed from the gate. They want to bring up Nehemiah, and they got purged. They've been mixed from the gate. Them light-skinned people been there from the gate. That's how come what YAP Gang and them saying is falling in line more, but what all of y'all other people saying, that Dura European, why you find light and brown and all of that stuff. I've been saying them Ben Laden looking like Abraham ain't. Y'all trying to make folk original. It ain't original. It's okay. Mixed multitude, you ain't pure, and most people ain't pure right now. It's okay. Don't try to fantasize and make something up that ain't there. Y'all think that Israelites is pure like Nimrod and them. That's what y'all think. Who bewitched you? Who told y'all this? Who sold y'all this black power? And Israel latest, y'all gonna make me use Israel popped up on the scene. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob popped on the scene. Folk was alive for a long time. Pyramids was up. Folk was doing it. Enoch was long gone, y'all. Oh, and that line, demon talking about wasn't no black folk around. Wasn't no lights. Yeah, we got to get it together, brothers and sisters. We got to accept the truth, brothers and sisters. I had to put black power down. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all don't want to do that. Let me read some of these comments. Let this video play because we ain't got no we.
Yeah, because once cause I see Sister Judah Ride brought up. Did the pagans say that the chosen people were on some Israelite power? I mean, that's what Judaism was about in dealing with the Maccabees. They wanted to establish their identity and whatnot. They were fighting against the Hellenized Jews who wanted to go to the gyms and other stuff. So it's always been the essence about who we are nationally.
Call little mother. Call little mother. This one, call little mother. Listen, red letter ain't got the wrench yet, and he already rusty. There's only a remnant Israel today that are true Israel. And if fervent charity got his, that fervent charity, he on the organ, he want to run and jump on the organ. He jumping from the drum to the organ, he all over the front of the church, just running up and down. Talking about you can't tell them that. Go ahead. They already getting me aggravated. We ain't even got into it yet. They already started. And then I'll be looking for the people that I know gonna aggravate me. My mama said, it's something wrong with me. It ain't y'all, it's me. But go ahead.
Making the same argument the twins are. You need to be Negro in order to be an Israelite.
And that right there is the reason why people got to stop calling them moderates, because they're not moderates. If anything,
No.
we're moderates, but they're not.
Yeah. Exactly. They're they're just as extreme as the camps, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got the camps and you got the Darbyites, because all this is the remixed Darb. So again, she's going to take issue with us for having a haplogroup model along with an autosomal model, right?
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, she takes no issue with Benaiah Israel for having a haplogroup model, no issue for Ron Dalton for having a haplogroup model, no issue with Pastor Darby for saying that you got to be E1B1A.
Benaiah, Ben Israel.
No. Yeah. I said that part, but I'm saying it goes back to Pastor Darby. He's the first one in there. Like, so these are so you might not be familiar with Pastor Darby, right? Pastor Darby is the birth of these people here, right? So you're talking about Dante, Sister E, Teo, Benaiah, we woke now, but like that. We're talking Darby right now. We're talking Pastor Darby, right? So Pastor Darby, like, I don't know if you actually watched my video on the one I put out recently, where I'm pointing out the fact that she's trying to, like, they're trying to act like we're the only people in the world that talk about haplogroup, but the people on their side that are pushing the E1. So again, we don't say E1B1A is the Israelite haplogroup. We do not say that, but multiple of their people do.
Most of them. Most people on their side say that. It's only Teo who disagrees.
And truth be told, the word on the street is like so when you understand Pastor Darby or whatnot, Pastor Darby was having them all believe that so Ibri, when you go study Pastor Darby, you can see where they get their arguments incorrect and how it all started from, based upon how the information was introduced to them. So when they were told by Pastor Darby that about E1B1A, they were told by him that every African American male is E1B1A.
Oh,
100%. So when they were all out there this is why you have people like the Benaiahs and them and all these guys showing you the autosomal test, but no one's showing you a haplogroup test, because all of them were assuming that they all have E1B1A. Right. And they were all doing that until certain people found out, oh wow, I'm haplogroup G. I'm haplogroup. You know what I'm saying? Now we got the remix doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Now you just need to be a Negro or whatnot. You know, but now when it comes to DNA, you just need the autosomal DNA of the Negro or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what's crazy about it, Ibri, so when Pastor Darby is again has an Irish last name, right? He shows his daughter's autosomal DNA, not his, and says she has my DNA, she has my haplotype, right? It's like, wow.
Wait,
no, that's not how. Right, exactly.
Unless that's
right. And so he's assuming so you just got to know everyone in this is E1B1A. Cool, got you, right? Again, like, got people confused, male and female. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh
But it's showing that she's 20% European, mostly British, Irish, or whatnot, right?
No.
So they got this large chunk of European within them and whatnot, right? And that's the daughter. Like, how much does Pops have, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That's how much his Pops have. On top of that, what's his haplogroup? Because he's that much European with the name Darby fan. And it's every time we run into these blackity blacks who are super racist and whatnot, we find out they got European haplogroups every time.
Yep, for some reason.
So the likelihood of your man being R1 is like up there. Is like up there, fam.
Does he have a son?
I have no idea, but he's passed or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a. If he's done his DNA, he never showed what his haplotype was or what his haplogroup was. You know what I'm saying? But if you looked at it, you'd be like, oh, I'm looking at all kind of phenotypical stuff to where your admixture could prove otherwise, that you're not what you claim, and how you got wrong that all African Americans are E1B1A, right? Like what would Darby have done if he found out he was G or if he was R or if he was, you know what I'm saying? Like he would have to remix the doctrine just like they're doing, right?
Delete the video and say something.
Man. But see, here's the thing: is when Darby passed or whatnot, they picked up the mantle, right? So all these people's channels, you can see them picking up when Darby passed or whatnot. Like Darby, like his joint is like he passed like 5-6 years ago, something like that.
Did they ever collab?
No, but some of their first videos are let me give an RIP to Darby and send an RIP to his wife type stuff. Like, so they're trying to clout chase off the YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But they're literally Darbyites, fam. I ain't calling them moderates anymore. Y'all are Darbyites, fam.
Yeah, they're not moderate.
No, not at all. There's nothing moderate about you. Y'all are racist. You're just as racist as the camps. There's nothing different.
That's hard talk right there. They trying to split the room. More. They trying to split Israel by saying that. Yes. That's the term, Darbyites. So he's trying to say that the non-campers, and somebody who just said that, in all actuality, I'm freestyling what somebody just said. The camps with their 12 tribes chart, they're more inclusive than these black we the people. Have they been flying under the radar and they've been the real rebels, the real black power, the real racists? With Darby, you got the other one that you got that 3 minute. I don't know how long that one is when Darby's talking about that.
I'll stop playing.
Huh?
I'll let it play. It's not 3 minutes, but it's
Let
a section.
All right. You got it ready though? Or you want me to?
Yeah. Yes,
okay. I'll mute myself.
You can't beat it. If you ever go to court, you won't. So we're going to lay hands on Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. Now, DNA proof, because I got to give you another witness so you know I ain't just coming off the blue. I told you I wouldn't even receive this stuff until I got definitive proof. I said definitive proof. Now, I told y'all DNA is, you can't beat it. If you ever go to court, you want DNA proof. You hear what I'm saying? DNA will set you free. Now, let me give you a little bit of understanding of, well, y'all know what DNA is. I mean, you kind of understand. I ain't gonna go deep into the concepts of DNA, but you know what it is. It means your genetic code. It means they can tell if you've been there or not. They can find out whether
Hold on, stop for a minute.
What?
Listen, Pastor Des, part of the problem is if a good chunk of the information that Ron Dalton is putting out, and he's great in helping people in awakening with his work, and Darby is one of the main ones that brought people into the awakening. He's very popular. Yeah, I know some people say they don't know who Darby is, but Darby popular. Darby the only person, and I've been telling y'all 3-4 years now, Darby's the only person on YouTube that I know outside of the movies, the guys that got videos in 1,600,000 views without ever being on TBN. I'm talking about years ago. With a congregation only what he had, a physical congregation, a couple of 100 and change. and got videos 300, 400, 500,000 because he was a leader in the awakening. Now, if he was wrong in the DNA and he didn't know what he was talking about, he was bringing on back, spewing bad information past it. There's the only thing we're saying is people coming to a false conversion. You come into a conversion, you come on this based on the proof about DNA, but if he's wrong, if the knowledge of the information is pseudo, you can still feel something. You can still feel goosebumps. You can still feel special. I don't want to offend nobody. Go ahead, play the video. Or you want to say something on that, bro?
Nah, let the video play so we can get the source.
Yeah.
Now, this is what my daughter did. She went and did it for me because the DNA passes down from your father. That's why the Bible said the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The bloodline comes from your daddy. So the seed will come from me. All the seeds, all the bloodline comes from the father. So the DNA that's passed all the way back to the original man came through my father's side. Now, this is what I want to show y'all because this is where Stisha did a DNA test, which she would have my DNA. You got what I'm saying? Now, I know it's kind of small, it's hard for y'all to see it, but basically, this is what the DNA tells us when African Americans do the DNA swab and find out what our DNA test is. It says that 80% Africa. Now, if you look at the map, it's saying where we come from, which is right in where Nigeria is. Right where Nigeria and Ghana and Congo, right on that horn of Africa, right on that curve, which is accurate. It's actually accurate. Now I'm gonna show y'all why they say we were Africans, because this is where you got to really put your thinking on right here. They say we were Africans. So now listen, your DNA is gonna go back to a people group that was from that area. So that means if your people was in this area for any length of time, your DNA is gonna go back there. And the problem is, the DNA of the African American doesn't really fit in Africa, but it goes back to Africa because that's the only place that they saw us at was in Africa, because we were in Africa at one time. Because remember I said in 70 AD, we fled from Jerusalem down through, it says we went down through Sudan, through Ethiopia. We kept going down to Africa, to the west, y'all got what I'm saying? So this will be my DNA in my family. This is on my father's side. This is what our makeup is. So if you see, it's 80% African, which is basically a surety. We're from the continent of Africa. And it's telling us the most concentrated place is right there on that horn of Africa. Now I'm gonna get a little deep on y'all. So keep your mind up, amen. Don't put your hungry mind down. When your mind is hungry, you tend to wander because your stomach is talking. I'm trying to help. This is deep. If you get this, man, I'm telling you, it's gonna change how you see yourself. Now, let me explain. The DNA haplotype is genetics. Haplotype is a combination of closely linked DNA sequences on one chromosome that are often inherited together. That means when they look at your chromosome, they're looking for a certain type that's on your chromosome, so they can identify. Right now, DNA haplogroup is a set of similar haplotypes inherited together, or a group who shares a set of similar haplotypes used to understand genetic lineages. In other words, the group is all have the same haplotype. That's how you find out. So what they have done, what DNA is, they went all over the world, every people group, they took their DNA, and that's why when you go and get your DNA, they already got people's DNA already mapped out everywhere in the world, so they know whatever your DNA come up, whatever your code is, they already got it on file. They say, okay, this is where you're from, and you can't. Ain't no way to beat it. Ain't no way to beat that. So that's definitive. Say definitive proof. Okay, so our DNA. And what I'm gonna show y'all is our haplogroup of African Americans is all the same. So you go get your own DNA test.
Our haplogroup is all the same. All right. I don't know if there's a later rendition might have altered the view, but from right here, he's saying our haplogroup is all the same. I'm gonna let it play.
But it's all the same because they found out that the African American haplogroup is the same, not like Africans. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give it to you so you look it up for yourself. Now let me show you. Genetic group Our haplogroup is E1B1A. That's what that would be. That's what your
I don't know, Brian, because I'm gonna let it play.
Is this somebody just said why they separate Africans, West Africans from African Americans? Is that true? I don't know about DNA. Y'all can fool me, but you're gonna tell me all the black folk. Where's that other scripture that Israel gonna be few in number? All the black folk. All y'all folk got E1. And I remember everybody a few years ago, that's all everybody was talking about E1, B1. Everybody was talking about that. That's what it is. Or they all spreading a lie and it became an echo, because echo chambers are formed unknowingly. Then other people dropping videos, and because I did my research, because you saw Darby video, because you saw other people's video, and you start repeating the E1, B1, you start repeating it, they start repeating it. Next thing you know, it's a body of work out there with people repeating stuff and people just taking it as the gospel. Darby said he did his research. So now, or later, because he don't went on to be with the Lord, what, 5-6 years now, 5 years or whatever. Yeah. Or new information came out dealing with the DNA. The new information, what we got to do is find out if all black folk is this E1B1A.
But Berean, that goes into what we discussed, what we brought out. Again, this is not to say that there are no Israelites in the Americas, right? There are no Israelites came on transatlantic slave trade. But to use the curse as a sign, well, one, to say you are what your father is, that's what makes an Israelite bloodline, right? Mm-hmm. We know the Y chromosomes passed down from father to son. So then that son should have the same haplogroup. But we see that there are different haplogroups within so-called blacks in America. That would mean that not all black folks, so-called blacks, are Israelites. That's what we've been trying. Well, that's what I've been trying to say. That's what.
Does Sherry agree with that? Who in YAP Gang? Who you agree with that? Type 1. Abu, you agree with that? Fervent Charity said he's not E1B1A, and he arguing like Johnny Cochran.
That's.
But I have an E marker.
No, that's just been a point of contention to make everyone.
It's, first of all, now, because I don't want the same people that have been promoting DNA to now say DNA ain't nothing. Why when Sister E was on here, why somebody hit me and said, why she act like she mad that my man Ant ain't claiming Israel no more? Like you got an attitude, like your DNA don't mean nothing. Just claim it, just come on this claim. The hell everybody claim it.
Because the only way we can claim that all that came over is to say that they were bloodline and converts. But folks don't want to accept the converts.
Nobody don't want to be a stinking convert.
And then let me read a boo, because I see this other comment I want to put up. The appeal to haplogroups was fun when they thought they all had the same haplogroup. Then some found out they got other haplogroups. Now Sister E says the DNA conversation got messy.
Why? That's her best, because her best friend's name is white? Because they ain't in there? That's how we doing it? I'm not saying that that's what it is, but that's what we doing now? Now, Jordan said, because I don't believe that you could tell by DNA. So why? Because you Israel according to the spirit?
No, but Jordan, it's not about the argument isn't who's DNA E or J or T or R, whatever. If folks have different haplogroups and we can trace timelines and things of that nature, and there's no way that an R can descend bloodline from Jacob or T or J or E, and you got different people, so-called blacks, who have different haplogroups, then that means that everyone who came on the transatlantic slave trade couldn't have been Israelites. That's the whole point.
Read past it, Jay. Yo, Dunamis, I'm gonna tell you the truth right now. It's a lot of people, and we've been saying that on this channel. A lot of people claiming Israel. Y'all ain't Israel. Not according to DNA, y'all ain't Israel. Y'all saying y'all Israel, but y'all good old Africans. Y'all good old Africans, and y'all claiming Israel. You got too much invested right now. So whatever lie and flip and remix you got to do, you're going to do. But it's okay because you claim you believe in him. And if you believe in him, you're Israel according to the spirit. But you don't want to be a convert. That's a convert to y'all. That's how I say it's blood. The blood is thicker than the spirit. It's greater than what the spirit has done in your life. That's why you're arguing so hard for it. And as much as it's not making sense, even the people in Israel now, it's not making sense. That's what I'm saying. That Kanye brought y'all to the forefront for the more experts. I want more DNA experts to look at it. If y'all are a fraudulent movement, if y'all are like golf and say, if y'all are the imposters, if y'all are the identity thieves, I'm gonna drag y'all through the mud. That's gonna be my full-time job till the Lord close my eyes. I'm gonna drag y'all through the mud. I try to help y'all. I help formulate this thing. I said I ain't trying to help the awakening, but I did some talking. I put some videos out there, and I had a decent sized channel when it jumped on. When I jumped on and having these discussions dealing with these things.
She said her test results was approved to her, that she was an Israelite. When the guy said his proved he wasn't anymore, she said he's a fool to let another man tell you you're not an Israelite.
Is that a contradiction? If it ain't a problem, say it ain't a problem. He said he just saying what was stated. If it ain't a problem, you know.
Especially controversial. Darby said E1B1A goes back to Ham. And that's another thing. Let me pull this up first real quick, Berean. I think the scriptures are all we need. You're either going to wake up or you're not. We don't need to argue about who we are. Y'all will handle that period. But the premise is you are who your father is. You know what I'm saying? If you're holding to that pretext from the text, and the DNA
and people are making claims. You can't make a claim. You're making physical bloodline claims. That brings an argument. All right, you want to argue from sister. Sister says you want to argue from scripture. Then you want to argue. Boy, I don't know. Y'all scare me with prophecy too. It's a scary thing. People can say what they want, and you could try to separate people that don't listen to these things. But you gotta talk about the stuff. You gotta weigh the stuff out. This stuff got to make some sense, y'all. We just can't be flying down here with stuff that just don't make no sense. None of it makes sense.
So maybe J-Jack's trying to clear it up. She's saying she's talking about GEDmatch versus haplogroups, DNA, I guess. But even with the GEDmatch, like a Boo and other folks have brought out, what GEDmatch with Oracle is about probability. It's not necessarily where you come from. So even with that, you know what I'm saying, there's beef with GEDmatch. Not that GEDmatch is an accurate in terms of DNA, but in terms of the Oracle and whatnot. One thing, Abu or somebody said, an Irish guy got on there and it showed that he's from the Levant, but he's 100% Irish. Yeah, that's a contradiction. She accepts Israel because she accepts the result from a scientist. Yet she starts tripping when Shaft denied he's Israel because of his results. Oh, you're talking about Sister E, maybe. She ran her results through GEDmatch and got her bill to them. I'm talking about. Okay, she wants some. Jay got something else. But all I'm saying is the argument that if you are what your father is, and that's bloodline, and we can trace the Y to a certain haplogroup, and there's certain so-called blacks who aren't that haplogroup or have a different. It doesn't matter about the haplogroup. If they have a different haplogroup that doesn't come from the same tree, then that means that not everyone who came on there were Israelites. In terms of bloodline, Oracle does not measure shared DNA. So
would you think they should have never put it out there?
No, it's necessary because just like, you know, when we Christians make claims about, well, I'm not gonna say it. We make claims from the Bible about the global flood and this and that, and how atheists try to bang on us or other faiths try to bang on us. We have to defend it. So we have scientists, physicists, geologists, all those folks. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a claim that's come to the front about bloodline and, you're what your father is and pass down this and that nature for natural Israel, then there should be some scientific proof. You know what I'm saying? Or something that can appeal to that. I'm not saying the science is 100%, but something to showcase certain claims. And we don't have to necessarily know who Israel is or Jacob's haplogroup, but we can see that they're distinct haplogroups within so-called blacks in the Americas. So that puts down the argument that all who came on the transatlantic slave trade are Israelites. Unless you're saying that they are converts. And if you're saying they're converts, that opens up another conversation, but folks don't want to accept converts. Converts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, it's just full circle. So were there converts on the ship, or was it all bloodline Israelites? Or
Please, I want everybody to answer that. Hey, yo, I'm telling y'all right now, Slick, I'm thinking about you at the job. I'm talking about banging out with elders, Elder and them. I'm talking about going out. Y'all, if y'all would have heard me and Elder getting on today, you'd have thought I was talking to Slick Baby Maker, one of them. I'm talking about them people in the land. Oh, I'm talking about wilding out. I don't even want to get into it because y'all don't think church. Let me just leave it alone because I love them folk. But boy, I'm telling you, they different. They ain't playing around with that land and that 47 and all that. I said, so you telling me you don't think prophecy was fulfilled in 19? Oh God, they wanted to fall down. Oh man, it's real out here. But y'all think everybody in the church is going for that? They're like, man, that is and the third temple. That's all part of the finesse. That's all part of the Antichrist. That's all part of the deception with TBN in the last days of the wild power. And they telling me come straight there in the morning, come straight to the church in the morning. Now I got to go to school and chill. But hey, that's what they call for. What I'm gonna do? Go over there and pray and start banging. Come on, play that video, man. It's a lot. I'm here for the comments.
African American haplogroup would be, right? You got that? This haplogroup is found predominantly among the Bantu Negro, descended to include but not limited to the African Limba, West African tribes, Igbo, remember that's very important, Igbo Jews in Africa, African Americans, West Indians, Brazilians, Haitians, and other Negro-influenced races throughout the Caribbean and scattered across different nations. Contrary to false gender reporting, this is not sub-Saharan or Hamitic haplogroup. It is Semitic. That's everything. I just told you everything. That means it's not Hamitic. So that Ham is where you get the Africans from. Kush, Ethiopia, Mizraim, Egypt. It's saying we're not from them. We're not from sub-Saharan Africa. We're Semitic. This is telling you you're not of saying you're not of Ham, you're of Shem. Oh, this is if you are why is what I'm telling y'all, why is this grouping important? Because there are people, the Bantus, which is now the Limba tribe in Africa right now, million of them, still original Hebrews that did not leave Africa. Remember, they ran out of Jerusalem, down to Africa, they still over practicing Judaism. They know exactly who they are. They took their DNA and found out that their DNA is not, now the African DNA is E1B1B. That's African DNA. But the Shemite DNA is E1B1A. So the Limba tribe in Africa, that's Jews. They know they Jews, no doubt about it. They're E1B1A, which means that E1B1A. Now, why is it important? Because they knew they had DNA from Aaron, Moses' brother. Moses' brother was the Levites. Y'all got that? Moses' brother DNA, Aaron, they know is E1B1A. Now, if Moses' brother.
Wait, hold on. For YAP Gang, Shari and Abu and them, is the Cohen gene E1B1A? Is it E at all, or was it J? What this one? Because I know some folks will say E1B1A exists among the limbo, but only a minority have it. Yeah, because J is more, if I'm not mistaken, J is more prevalent. That's how they have a connection to the Cohen gene. The lemma have other haplogroups present in the population behind E1B1A. There's an E Cohen. Okay, there's an E Cohen. But if I'm not mistaken, there's also a J, right? I don't know. Some of this information, I'm not too sure. Say it kind of, Berean kind of reminds me of like the Ron Dalton book. Maybe at the end of the presentation, he has some sources and whatnot.
Man, listen, I'm telling you right now, the more we look, this is a faith of belief. It can sound like it's a whole bunch of what you call it behind it, but hey, I don't know. It ain't calculating too good to me. Maybe because I'm slow. Or like Roger said, they just seeing stuff that they want to see. And by saying this, don't let your sick, broken mind have you think that people are saying only Europeans are Jews.
No.
Nobody is saying that by saying this.
No, because that's the whole thing.
Read that right there.
Let me see fervent. What if it's neither E1B1A or E1B1B? The two fiends are not Israelites, and people in the Middle East have E1B1B and don't claim to be Israel. No, but that's where for me, I can't tell you what's Israel. That's that middle part that got to be worked out. You know what I'm saying? That part's still building. All I'm saying in terms of the line, if you are what your father is, and it's passed down through the Y, you have folks who have different haplogroups, that raises contention about how can all these folks be of the same people. Indeed, out in paternally, the limbo are nearly as diverse as Ashkenazism. Yeah.
Because that's how come I want y'all to know. Y'all could say it don't make a difference. If the claims that YAP Gang and them are making, if those claims are right and exact, it's a problem it's a problem not only for the camps.
Let me be sorry. Make sure I clarify. YAP Gang never made a claim as to which happened with Israelites. Amato states Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So they never made a claim to as which happened with Israelites. Amato states Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So they're saying D and E.
So who made the claim? Who made the claim in Israel that y'all remember for? Who made the claim? Who's making the claim? Who made it or who's making it? It came out. Somebody started this.
Unless folks jump, maybe some folks jump to a conclusion.
And then I do believe I heard homegirl say, well, y'all started asking for DNA and they went and got DNA. When Christians or apologists or somebody started getting DNA, they started producing DNA videos and things of that nature. And
I don't know. He's saying West Indians and he's some of the Negroes. Yeah, he's some of the Negroes. All right, let's continue.
Which means he got that DNA from his father. So that means that's what Moses' DNA was. So the children of Israel, that's their DNA.
Right, even in the Caribbean, though. So he says West Indians. How many West Indians you know? Black mama, Indian daddy. Guyana, Chinese father.
Come on.
So there's a whole, and with all the mix of this had nothing to do with slave trade. The West Indians were just melting pot. People just one culture, one people. That people just mix. So how do you? I don't know. It's like it's hard to believe. If you pull up the 1948 DNA, along with all those that follow them to the land, it's a big mix of bag. It's a big mixed bag of haplogroups, which, if I might add, brings up closer to my theory of converts. Checkmate.
But it's not. It's almost equal with y'all, Jordan.
And they don't reject the converts. Well, in a way, they do. They got their own racism, but converts are still the same as natural born under one law. It's like over here in the conversation we've had over here dealing with the converts. they're either second-class citizens or they just follow the faith, but they have no entitlement to the land or the inheritance or prophecies and promises, which doesn't make sense.
Firm chatting over there.
Yes, Joe, and paternity diversity among mainstream Jews shows most of them do not descend paternally from Jacob. Because that was never the contention. It goes beyond bloodline. What do you believe? The tribe of Dan were bloodline Israelites, but they were cut off. There were people who were Israelites that were cut off. So there's essence about belief.
Red letter. Read red letter. I want to ask red letter, is there a difference between bloodline? Are there promises left in that Bible for those, excuse me, that are bloodline and those that are Gentiles that believe, or are we equally on the same level? No double, straight talk, red letter. Are we on the same level now, millennial reign and the eternal state? Or do you believe during the millennial reign, Gentiles are going to be a little beneath because that's just some promises that's made? Then in the eternal state, in the sweet by and by forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, it's going to be equal. I want to hear that from you. I want to hear that from Slick Baby Maker. Let me pull up that other video. Go ahead.
Just let it sink in. This stuff could never be known until the last days. There wasn't enough technology to find out. That's why I said I wouldn't go off of. I didn't just go off of what was written. I said, no, I want definitive proof. There got to be a way to prove it. I just proved it. I'll go further. Now, let me bless you with this. Now, Negroes have been identified as being exempt from the bloodline of Ham by the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. This haplogroup represents the Y DNA of Jacob, the father of 12 tribes. And this is Dr. Yusha Benjamin, who did a book study on this. Now, the Zondervan, now this blew my mind because I saw that.
Helped a great deal in the awakening.
The Zondervan Dictionary, Bible Dictionary.
That's all I'm saying. Zondervan helped a great deal in the awakening. Type 1, do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree with that? Oh, I got a video, Slick. I hope you got a couple of minutes. Matter of fact, I'm gonna cut out all this other stuff. I want Slick to listen to this video and tell me what his thoughts are. Read that.
The problem is we're using earthly and carnal terms. When we're in the spirit of Christ, all are equal. But there'll be different instructions, different purposes for a man, just like in heaven.
Yeah, he got. That's a good way. That's if Daddy the preacher. That's a good way right there.
Jacob had 12 sons. Which one's a convert? So now we have a nation with no bloodline. Just, oh my God. So Jordan. So Jordan, when Abraham circumcised himself in his household, who was part of that covenant and who was part of that promise?
With the servants and everybody.
When Abraham circumcised himself in his household, who was part of that covenant and who was part of that household? And who was part of the promises?
Every single person in this household? Type 1, if not type 2. And how did God look at it according to the text? Let me see what I'm waiting for that answer. Come on, most excellent.
They want to know. It's a sign of the covenant. From now, remember the fact that Abraham servants are not his bloodline.
Come on, Abraham was ready to leave everything to his servant, and he ain't got us. Come on, that's book.
Let me see what Pastor James saying.
Look at.
Let me see what Pastor. I saw it. Let me get my mind right first. In the movement, the white man saying things. In the movement, the white man saying things. The movement says is going to be used by the movement, since the blacks tend to listen to the white man a little quicker in their eyes. That white Bob. Treat treat them as one nation born.
So what that mean to you? What that mean to you, Fervent Charity? Because you'll still say that and then turn around with your application fees and pull them out your pocket.
So let me ask you a question, Fervent Charity. Does one nation born, one nation born, do they have an inheritance? So we have to treat them like a nation born. Are they entitled to inheritance as well? If we have to treat them as one nation born. If the nation born has an inheritance, do they get inheritance as well? If we have to treat them like one nation born. I know they're 18 seconds behind. Okay. Here goes this. So I ain't gonna say it. Let me go back to the video because she running them up in the chat section.
And she worried about you running muck on the panel, and she running muck in the chat. Let me be quiet.
The harassment, the verbal abuse. Let me hook this computer. Here we go. Fervent Charity, just answer the question, brother. If you go to treat them like a natural born, a natural born gets an inheritance.
That fool said, "Let me hook this computer up." Oh boy, we can't even.
Do the converse get inheritance as well? Is it supposed to be treated like natural born? Do they get what a natural born gets? All right, fair use.
Dictionary. I read this and didn't know why. Now they knew this hundreds of years ago. The definition of Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. They said that's the definition in the Bible dictionary. They saying he's not the father of the Negroes. They know this. They know who you are. Don't y'all know they know who you are? That's why they doing you like that. But he is of the Egyptians, Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. That's Ham's descendants. But they said not the Negro. The Negro comes from the word Niger. That's where we ran to. Now we came out. Now the Igbos in Nigeria are still Igbo Jews, still practicing Judaism. They're still in the same place. And that's why our DNA goes back to Nigeria. But our DNA doesn't fit Africa. This is too much. Oh, y'all ain't ready for me. I'm too deep. Listen, y'all heard what I'm trying to tell y'all. All your life, they telling you are African. But your DNA, if you go get your DNA and your haplogroup is E1B1A, then that means that's the same DNA of the Levites The Levites are not African. Those are Hebrews. You got what I'm saying? The African DNA is
Yes, according to Ephesians, but those converts, believers in Christ. That's a big difference from the people you arguing for. No, Jordan, the whole thing is that's why the whole concept of once the convert you brought into the family of God that grafted in, brother, that you don't see the correlation, how the shadow and the type with converts and bloodline dealing with Christ. That if someone converts, someone that says Jesus, they have the blood of Christ. We're one family, we're brothers and sisters. All that concept from the Old Testament, and how the covenant plays a weight. If you accept the covenant, then you're part of the family. If you reject the covenant, then you're cast out. How folks who served other gods in the Old Testament were kicked out the camp. That's the whole concept. It's about the covenant, right? They don't believe in Christ. But is it an ethnicity?
What does that have to do anything with the science, with DNA? Believe in Christ, or if you don't believe in Christ?
Yeah, this is a whole standpoint. We're talking about the old covenant.
You kind of bring the prophecy into it.
Yeah. The old covenant, what's the first mention about converts coming in? Exodus 12. They're under one law. So anything beyond that point, it's established that converts are the same like bloodline.
Oh boy.
In this life, I earned it. No white man, no black man, no Jew man gon' stop me or block me or mock me. Just watch me. I came back like the Mach D, harder than government block cheese. Push button, no car keys. This art form is a part of me. This world so cold, my heart freeze. Unthaw me, Lord. Even when I didn't realize it, you still saw me, Lord. My prayers that the brotherhood can get on one accord. Cause we cannot afford anyone sowing seeds of discord.